Let's get into the conversation now. The issue of fuel subsidy removal has been a controversial topic in Nigeria's successful government have not been able to muster the political will to take the bull by the horn by deregulating the downstream sector of the country's oil and gas industry. In twist of fate, the National Economic Council on Thursday announced the suspension of the planned removal of subsidy on petrol products by the end of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Briefing journalists at the end of the NEC meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the villa in Abuja yesterday, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed explained that the move became necessary because it is not a favorable time for the action, but equally agreed on the need to continue the discussion on the matter and the necessary preparatory work in conjunction with state and representatives of the incoming administration. Now, to discuss more on these developing issues, I'm being joined right now by the partner and senior economist at XPM Professionals, Paul Alaji. He joins us virtually. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you for coming on board.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Yeah, quickly, because of the time you have left to spend with us here, talk to us. How did you receive this news? Did you see this coming? The removal of subsidy, suspension of petrol subsidy.
Well, I have said it in media time and again that it's going to be practically impossible for any government to the level of preparation we have for government to remove fuel subsidy, and I mean PMS subsidy, just the way it was announced by the administration. Until yesterday, the administration engaged on the reverse gear. I must be very sincere with you that President Buhari's administration is not the first administration to say subsidy will be removed. The military president, Ibrahim Babangida, who was military at the same time, became president over civilian supporters with governors and National Assembly. He promoted removal of subsidy. Unfortunately, Babangida administration could not remove subsidy. General Sani Abacha even also said that subsidy will be removed at a time, and people resolved to using Abacha stove. Subsidy could not be removed. There came President Olusegun Obasanjo, who also tried to remove subsidy and witnessed massive protests all around the country, and subsidy again could not be removed. President Jonathan, who merely announced and tried implementation, it cost him an election because subsidy could not be removed. President Buhari came as a very smart person who said subsidy did not exist. And when he got to office, he suddenly realized that subsidy existed. And in 2020, President Buhari's minister announced to Nigeria, including the GMD NNPC at the time, which is now GMD NNPC Limited, that subsidy has been removed because of COVID. And I remember that I spoke with a number of journalists in the country, and I mentioned to them that the minister is not looking deep enough. It's comparing price differential and market shortage. We have both demand and supply shortage. He interpreted that to mean that subsidy does not exist again. Down the line, the Q4 of 2020, the minister came back to the media to say there is now subsidy. Is doing something about.
Well, I guess we lost connection with Mr. Alaje here, but
subsidy will be fully removed. But we all know that of course, has an implication in cost of things. For instance, on 50 kg bag of rice, the cost of power as a result of this.
Okay. Let me come in. Let me jump in. Permit me, Mr. Alaje, to jump in a little bit here. Can you hear me? If you can hear me. I needed to let's look at two issues before I let you go. One, what is the implication of this? I know international organizations, World Bank, IMF, everyone expected that by June this year, of course, there will be an implementation of subsidy removal. Remember, the federal government has secured about $800 million from the World Bank, to prosecute this as well. So what happened next? So what is the implication of this development on Nigerian economy?
When I heard $800 million, what I saw is 7,500 per head, not the entire Nigeria. According to government agency and those international organizations, UNDP and Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics, it says there are 133 million Nigerians battling not just with poverty but multidimensional poverty. How do you say that you select only 50 million people and you give them $16 and at official parallel market, whichever you choose, you are giving them 8,000 naira? It's important to understand the implication of subsidy. Government has, okay, let me answer your first question. What does it mean? We are going to borrow more money. 3.3 trillion is what we have used for subsidy between January to end of June. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have no option but to borrow money, because as I talk to you, yeah.
Oh dear. Hello, Mr. Alaje. I don't know, but it looks like we lost connection with your flow of thoughts there. I would have lost
connection.
Okay. So just before I let you go, Mr. Alaje, can you hear me? Just before I let you go, yes, you have said that what this means, or the implication of this, is that we're going to be borrowing more money. What next? When is the right time exactly to remove subsidy? What exactly is the next administration going to do with the removal of subsidy? I mean, so what next? I need us to wrap up on that thought.
What next, which is the permanent solution, is one, make local refineries to work. The 4 refineries must work. This is because if you remove subsidy today, you buy PMS at 4 to 500 naira per liter. If central bank announces emancipation of the value of naira, then you'll be paying 700 naira, because there is no more subsidy regime, which means Nigerians will have to pay for the failure of policy of government. If I ask you, exchange rate official rate in 2015, it was 199, parallel market 360. If those rates were the same today, we'll buy 150, 195, and there will be no subsidy. So what we are paying for, what government is paying for, is failure of economic stability, failure of exchange rate stability. That's exactly what we are paying for. So the new administration must ensure that local refinery works. I understand there is one private refinery coming mainstream. It will be too dangerous to allow that sector to go to the hand of a monopoly. It means the board of directors of the company will be deciding the fate of 215 million Nigerians. And I don't think it works anywhere in the world. That said, the second thing is there is narrow gauge within the rail line that the Nigerian Railway Corporation has put in place. For us to avoid food inflation when subsidy is removed, we need to connect the rail line, which is the narrow gauge, to the rural community, so that we can have inflow of food without additional cost into maybe villages and urban centers. Lastly, government should ensure that we have not broken our back when subsidy is removed, and they say they want to provide cushion effect. What is the cushion effect? Bring mass transit system to poor environment, poor people. Those are the people that need it. And I must leave you with this thought, which is the misconception that a lot of people, non-economists, have championed, that subsidy is benefiting the rich. It is a big lie. A man who earns 40,000 naira salary and a man who has 10 cars, who benefit from subsidy? They said the man that has 10 cars can go to filling station and fill all the car. Will not go again. It's not true.
Okay. I thought we were going to wrap up there so that I could just let you go straight. Are you still there?
Thank you so very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Paul Alaje, partner, senior economist, SPM professionals. Thank you for coming on board. We appreciate your time. You'll be watching Business Breakfast. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Lagos. Now, let's take a break. When we return, we'll head straight to the equities market and look at the current trends, which is, of course, playing dominance in that market. I'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.